The Huntress is just a beast of a killer. Just look at that. Check this one out. Look at that. You can't escape me. And watch this far one. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, Mighty Matt here. Today I want to give a basic overview of the Huntress and give tips on how you can improve your gameplay with her. So the Huntress's main power is she's able to throw hatchets at survivors. She's a very skill-based killer that rewards you if you can successfully land one of these hatchets on the survivor. Her main weakness though is she's much slower compared to a lot of the other killers, and she has an audible humming lullaby noise that she emits that can be heard from a large distance away. It's about 45 meters. I think it's 45. The thing about this lullaby though is it is not directional, so in some ways it's actually good because the survivors can get quite confused by it. Anyways, the build I'd like to run is barbecue and chili. Very good blood point perk, very good perk to find survivors after you hook them. This pairs well with Pop Goes the Weasel, gen regression perk, 25% of the gen. You can regress after hooking someone. Nurse's Calling, you're able to see people healing. This goes very well with Monitor and Abuse because it reduces your terror radius, and you're able to actually shoot people while they're healing because they won't even be able to hear your terror radius. It's pretty strong all around. Some other good choices you could run are Corrupt Intervention, slows the early game, Whispers to help you find people, and even Brutal Strength helps to kick pallets and gens quicker. Iron Maiden's also a good choice if you want to reload faster. For our add-ons, we got Decreased Hatchet Wind-Up time, and we got the Exhaustion one, where if you hit someone with the hatchet, they become exhausted. And this is pretty annoying to play against as a survivor. But yeah, let's get to the game now. So I ended up getting the Ironworks of Misery. Like I said earlier, one of the Huntress's main weaknesses is she's a slower killer, and during the early game, if you're not able to find someone, you can be put in a bad spot. And running perks like Corrupt Intervention, obviously, and Whispers will help you with this, finding someone at least early, or at least delaying the start. Luckily enough, we're able to find someone, so yeah. And he decides to go to the Killer Shack window, and with the Huntress, generally, you can get a hatchet hit when survivors are either vaulting windows or throwing down pallets, because they're locked into an animation. Also, this person, they're heading directly straight into a straight line into like a corridor in the pallet area. You can easily get a hatchet hit just by throwing it directly down the straight line that they're running. So I'm easily able to get the down there. And that's really what you want to do with the Huntress. You always want to get the hatchet hit first, followed by your base attack if you can, or another hatchet. But you want the hatchet hit first because you're able to recover so much quicker. It's like having 8 stacks of Save the Best for Last. And it can be pretty insane how fast you can down people if you can get a hatchet hit, and then you're able to quickly recover and quickly find them. In this circumstance here, I end up losing the person. Or I think they went towards Killer Shack, but I decided to kick the gen here, so. There's one bad spot to be in is losing someone as Huntress because you're so slow. But anyways, we're able to find a person again and hatchet hit now. I missed the hit, and don't get discouraged if you miss a hit because it's, you know, you're bound to miss a couple hits here and there. I go for 2 hatchet throws on them. You don't need to. I generally think 1 hatchet hit into a regular attack is very powerful, and you can get quick downs with it. I see that Jake in the distance there, so that's where I'm going to head afterwards. But as Huntress, you don't want to be without hatchets. If you're without hatchets, I generally think you're actually the weakest killer in the game. Or close to the weakest killer in the game. Just because of how slow you are and because you emit such a loud lullaby. That's heard from like 45 meters away. So sometimes you even have to drop the chase and refill your hatchets. And I think that's honestly worth it because you're going to get looped so badly if you don't have hatchets. But anyways, Nurse's Calling kicks in here, and I can see them healing. get the hatchet hit, of course, and then you can get the M1 attack. And I actually missed the attack here, but we end up getting it. So quickly hook. Like, that person really didn't have a chance though, because once I got the hatchet hit, they went on top of the hill there, and without balanced landing, they're gonna have a huge stagger recovery on their fall, and yeah. So patience. Be patient with your hatchets. Just line it up. They're gonna try to wiggle and, you know, throw you off and circle you and all that. Just be patient with it and try to get your it lined up. Got bamboozled there. This person has Iron Will, so I'm also playing on controller, so it's a little tougher. But anyways, we got him. And quickly hook. Yeah, if you're just going around with attacking them without using your hatchets, it can be pretty tough if you're going for attack and then hatchet, because when you attack regularly, you have a huge recovery time, and it's just harder because they get a huge speed boost, and they're able to get away much quicker. Anyways, there's a Claudette there. This person actually has very good movement. They're really trying to dodge my hatchet, and I'm trying to hit them, but quite difficult on controller. But just be patient. Remember, be patient. Don't get discouraged. You'll get the hit. And if you end up running out of hatchets, then you can just hit them regularly, and then refill your hatchets. Or if you can chase, but depends obviously where they are located and if they have loops and all that around. I'm gonna try to get a little sneaky hit there, but I can't, unfortunately. Anyways, refilled my hatchets. Second gen's popped. This person here, I really don't know what they were doing. So, get the hit, and then I'm just able to snipe them down here. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. Fortunately, DS, but what can you do? They got healed, and then, yeah. But anyways. So this person, you don't want to be like this person, where they throw the pallet down into a Huntress's face, because generally 9 times out of 10, the Huntress is going to down a survivor if they hit him over the pallet, if they are accurate at least. I'm now going to talk about looping. I'm going to show a couple clips, and generally for looping, you have to take an extra loop around, and you have to be able to call the survivor's bluff on the pallet. And I decided to go there instead of winding up, because if you decide to respect the pallet and wind up your hatchet, the survivor can make another loop. And obviously that's not good, because then you're stuck there and they're able to make another loop and potentially a second loop after that because of how slow you are as a killer. So it's all about trying to predict when they're going to either throw the pallet or when they're going to not throw the pallet. As you can see in this clip, similar kind of situation. I have to decide whether I want to wind up my hatchet here or do I want to go again. And I decided to go again, and I'm closing the distance on them. I'm going to wind up here though and get the hit there. And then loop back around. And I decided incorrectly here, or a little late. I couldn't wind up quick enough, but decided to break the pallet. And you kind of just have to decide what the survivor is thinking or how they're playing. And generally, you can just see if survivors are throwing pallets early or if they're taking another loop, and you can adjust based off that. Generally, I try to take 1 or 2 loops around after the survivor before winding up, because generally good survivors will always go for the extra loop. But it varies case by case. Anyways, let's jump back to the gameplay. Alright, so give this a quick kick. So this person's a killer shack. With the Huntress, you can get pretty punished if you're missing your shots. Like right there, I'm not able to cool down quick enough to be able to get a hit there. So I outplayed them there, and then I didn't outplay them. So they threw the pallet down, they were locked into the animation, and I wasn't able to get the hit because I just missed. And sometimes that happens. You just gotta, you know, not get upset about it and just move on. Anyways, here, I'm able to get a couple really nice shots on them, and watch this one. Like, that's ridiculous. You can't be running straight as a survivor like that. because you're gonna get mowed down. So it's pretty easy as a Huntress if they're running in a straight line. Generally, very good survivors are not running in straight lines. They're being very unpredictable, and you just kind of have to play around all that. And generally, like, with a couple of those hatchet hits you just saw, I was trying to predict where they were going. For the longer hatchet hits, you kind of have to do that. Predict, like, the trajectory of where they're going to end up, and that's where you throw your hatchet to. Not where they are at the moment. And, yeah, you might be able to get some pretty nice shots, and honestly, with the Huntress, it's pretty satisfying when you hit a cross-map shot or, like, you know, a pretty distant shot like I just did there. Now check this out. With monitor and abuse, you're able to sneak up on the survivors actually pretty well. Like, look, they must have not known to the last second I was there because of monitor and abuse, and that's why I like to run it on Huntress, because it's very confusing to play against. You have this huge lullaby, and then you have this small terror radius, and it's pretty scary to go against. Honestly, it's very tough. The Huntress can be right around the corner; you wouldn't even know it. But yeah, we ended up getting to the second last person, and with barbecue, able to see the last person. Just have to walk towards them. But yeah, I'd encourage everyone to, you know, try to get better with aiming your hatchets and, you know, getting the hatchet hit into the regular hit combo, because honestly, it's pretty strong and very satisfying once you're able to learn the Huntress and get the hits with her. Because when I first started playing Huntress, and it was very difficult. It can be frustrating because you miss a lot of shots, and you know you're not hitting everything, and the survivors are just wrecking you. But yeah, definitely if you want a rewarding killer, that has some challenge to her for sure, I would definitely recommend the Huntress. She's so much fun to play if you can land those hatchet hits. And obviously I had a pretty good game here where I was able to get some pretty nice shots. I'm not gonna lie. Had like 3 shots in a row at one point. Pretty fun. But yeah, I hope I was able to help anyone out learning about the Huntress and basic loop strategy with the Huntress. And I was able to get the 2 pip here, so pretty nice. But yeah, if you could like, comment, subscribe, that'd be great. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.